We're getting ready. We're live. We're live on the air. How you doing, everybody? It's Bruce here, traveling with Bruce. How are you today? Welcome to Friday. It's Friday, February the 2nd, 2018, and what a lousy day we're having out here. I'm in Creston, BC. For those of you who don't know, and here in Creston today, it's about 33 degrees, maybe 34 degrees. We've been raining all day. It's dreary. It's but I got to tell you, I've been talking to friends of mine who live out in Calgary, which is about 5 hours, 5.5 hours by car from here, about a 45-minute plane ride if you can get over the mountains. They're cold. They're like maybe 5 degrees Fahrenheit today. It's miserable. It's windy. They don't like it. And if you're further north in Alberta, it's even worse. And so, am I complaining? And not like they're complaining, I'll tell you that right now. This is okay. And I think tomorrow we're going to hit about 40 degrees, maybe 45 actually. So happy to see that. Welcome to my channel, Traveling with Bruce. If you're a regular, you know what's going to happen. You know what I'm doing here with this live stream. If you're not a regular and you're just joining me for the first time ever, welcome to my live stream. I do this every day, Monday to Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern, and on Saturdays at 2 o'clock Eastern. And we talk cruise ships. I talk about cruise ships, cruise ship vacations, finding deals, how to pack for a cruise, how to find a good deal for a cruise, what to buy before you even get on the cruise ship, what you may or may not want to do when you're on the cruise ship regarding drink packages or specialty dining, or you know, we cover it all. We cover it all. And if you're watching me for the first time or you're a regular, type in something on your phone or on your computer. Tell me, where are you? Where are you watching me from today? What's your high temperature going to be? And just make me feel awful because, like I said, we're 38. Not even that. We're 34. We're barely above freezing. Last night, something big happened. If you're a regular, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not a regular, let me tell you, I started this channel August of 2017. This is 5.5 months ago. And we started with nada, no subscribers, no views, no history, no nothing. And I was trying to figure out, you know, what kind of channel it was going to be and how it was going to evolve, and hadn't done a live stream before it. I wasn't going to do one for a while. And just started the channel off in August 12th. And it took until October to hit 10,000 views. It took until December 13th to hit the first 100 subscribers. And, well, I got to tell you, folks, last night, let me see if I can make this work for you. I wonder if you see that. Can you see that at all? I don't want the glare to get into me. Yeah, that happened last night. 500 subscribers. Oh my goodness. Thank you, everybody. That was absolutely amazing. I tell you, I'm just thrilled and delighted, and I'm amazed. In what 5 weeks, 6 weeks from early December to about mid-December to Feb 1. 400 subscribers piled on top of the first 100. Unbelievable. So almost all of you guys who are, subscribers now, 80% of you have joined in the last 6 weeks. That's how fast this channel is coming on. And I couldn't be more delighted, of course, and honored and grateful. All the words. I mean it. I think it's fantastic. When I went off the air yesterday on this live telecast, we had 486 subs. So we got 14, before I went to bed last night when I recorded that. Right now, 509. Right now, we're at 509. So I've added 23 more subscribers, or 23 more of you have joined into this channel since yesterday afternoon. And look at my hair, what's left of it. And thank you. This is great. The big deal is, as a lot of you folks know that are following me all the time, and you may have heard through other YouTubers, by Feb 20, I've got to hit 1,000 subscribers to remain monetized, because you probably noticed a commercial at the beginning of this broadcast, or sometimes you'll notice a commercial on my videos or inside some of my videos. That's how I get paid. That's the deal. YouTube pays me like a half a penny every time an ad airs. And if you tolerate the ad, I thank you, because you're contributing to my economic survival. And anyway, by Feb 20, I have to have 1,000 subscribers to stay in the program, because the rules have been changed by YouTube in the last few weeks. It used to be you just needed 10,000 views on your channel, which I had back in October. Then you're monetized. So I've been monetized since October, I think October 19th of 2017. And didn't mean anything because, you know, the amount of views I was getting per day were like 100, 120 views a day. So, you know, I made a nickel, 8 cents, 15 cents a day, you know, nothing going on. But then when the 100th subscriber showed up in December, the algorithms changed on the channel, and that means I get promoted more. Plus, I was doing a lot of work on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And you folks know I'm on a number of social platforms trying to promote this channel, and the views started to skyrocket, or you know, for me, skyrocket. And we're now hitting 2,000 views a day on this channel. In December, when I hit 100 subscribers, 250 to 300 views a day was the number. 250 to 300. I'm now doing 2,000 views a day. So that's 8 times more views since then. And that's why the subscriber growth is picking up, because we're obviously doing something right. And the other thing that changed for this channel, I think, is when I started doing these live streams. I started doing live streams about 2-3 weeks ago, and I'm getting better at it, I think. And more of you are participating in the live streams, and it's a lot of fun, and viewers like it. So we're just going to keep right on going. So if we can keep it up the way it is, we're going to make it. I think I'm going to make 1,000 subscribers by Feb 20. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I think I'm going to make it, even though I'm at 509 now, he says confidently. But every time I get 100 views, it looks like I get another subscriber. Now, 23 subscribers with about 2,000 views. I'm a little ahead of it. That's even better. The YouTube analytic experts tell me, and they tell the YouTubers out there, if you can do 1% subscriber growth for your view rate, every 100 views, 1 subscriber, whew, that is awesome. Because a lot of channels out there, they have 100,000 subscribers, and they don't have 1,000. So the 100,000 views. They don't have 1,000 subscribers. They have 200. And there's channels out there with 350,000 you know, views a day, and they're adding maybe 500 subscribers a day instead of 3,500. So it's quite an amazing thing how this whole analytics works and how this all comes together. But it's coming together, and I really appreciate it. I see some folks have joined us. Let me say hi. First of all, Karen is here. Karen Lipson's here. Hey, Bruce. Very cold in Calgary. 26 below with wind chill. That is yeah, that's bad. there's no nice way to say it. It's like really cold, really uncomfortable. And if you're outside, oh, you got the toque on, you got the mitts on, you got the scarf across your face, the scarf here, your coat's all done up. You're doing the Canadiana thing, and that's bundling, layering. Welcome, Karen. Ian Spencer is here. What's up? I'm back. Welcome, Ian. Fantastic. Terrence is here. Wow, 500 subscribers. Well done. Yep, 509. You know, when YouTube lowered the boom and told all of us that, you know, you need 4,000 hours of viewing time, and you need 1,000 subscribers by Feb 20 to remain monetized, or to even get to apply to become monetized. Ooh, boy, I knew I would make the time. That wasn't going to be a problem. I had that done last Saturday. That's now six days ago. I reached the 4,000 hours. We're now at 5,000 hours. We're just blowing past that. It's the subscriber count. We were at 270, I think, at the time. And I thought, oh, man, where am I going to find 725, 780? How are we going to find these subscribers? I didn't know. So I put the word out to all you guys, and you guys got busy. I mean, my existing original subscribers, woohoo, the first day I had 40, and then 25 more. Next thing you know, we were over 300, and we're moving into like 320, 340. Then we hit 400. Now we're hitting 500, and we got 491 to go. So it's about 25 a day is what we're going to need. And what I had yesterday, I just have to have every day, and cross our fingers, we'll see. But with 2,000 views a day and climbing, 80% of those views are from non-subscribers. Still, 20% of my views, roughly 20-25%, are from subscribers. The remaining views are non-subscribers, and those are the folks I have to try to get to convince to become part of the channel. And so, any of you folks that watching me out there, there are subscribe buttons here. There's a subscribe button here. Just click it, and for no charge, you're part of the family. And if you hit the bell notification icon, which I think is beside, I'm not sure where it says subscribe, there's a little picture of a bell. It's on one side of the screen or the other. If you click on that, you'll be notified every time I do a video or doing anything with the channel. So you can go, oh, Bruce is up to something, I'll check him out. It's up to you to do that, but boy, I would love to have you as a subscriber, and we want to hit that 1,000 big time. So that's what's going on the channel front. It's going great. Playlists are going great, and these daily lives are going great. So I noticed we got about 8 or 9 or 10 follows right now. For those of you who are watching tonight and tomorrow, or you've never seen me before and you're watching this as a video a month from now, what I'm doing is a live stream. I'm talking to my people who are texting here, and as the show goes on, more and more people come on in and say hi, and we start talking cruise ships and vacations and deals and you name it, and people start kicking in their 2 bits worth. I get a question from viewers sometime, don't have the answer. The viewers has another viewer has the answer, and sometimes viewers talk to each other. So it's kind of a party. What can I tell you? It's a fast 1 hour, hour and 30 minutes. I'll tell you that. It just goes by like this. Chris Reese is here. Hey, Chris, how you doing? How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the chat today. It's nice to have you here. We're slowly piling in. Log in or just say hi to us and tell us what's going on. Wes just showed up. Wes Morrison's here. New Belfills, Texas. He's got 58 degrees in Texas. We have a lot of winter Texans that come from Canada and northern U.S. I bet you do. Yeah, you betcha. Yeah, I can imagine. Also, a lot of folks head for the Gulf. They head for the coast and enjoy their winters there. Man, why not? It's beautiful, and the prices are right too for gas, and Texas is great. Arizona, fantastic for Canadians. I mean, man, so many Canadians I know have winter, their winter residences in Arizona, and great deals for shopping and man, you name it. The food, the quality of the food, unbelievable. Chris Reese is saying 16 degrees in Michigan, a little nippy. It's kind of like in Ontario too. I know there's an Arctic vortex apparently that is settling in from the north, and it's come down quite a ways right into the USA. My viewers, by the way, of course, my number one group of viewers are Americans from the USA, and as always, I thank you guys for watching. I love it. My second group is Canada, but I gotta tell you, Canada is being chased right now. There's a whole new bunch of viewers kicking into my channel from the United Kingdom. It is really stunning to see how many UK people are kicking into my channel. At least my analytics are telling me so, and I think it's fantastic. And I welcome all of you out there in the UK that are watching. Fourth place, Australia. Way down under. You guys are great. I got a fellow this morning, Peter, who sometimes will text here. He's on the Explorer of the Seas right now. He boarded that ship about 3-4 days ago. He's in New Caledonia right now. He texted me to say hi. He noticed we hit 500 views last night, so he said hello. That's fantastic. He's probably not watching now because he's at sea. So he's on board the ship. When he gets back, I'm sure we'll hear all about the trip and how it's going. Fantastic. And all of you folks down under, hi to you guys. Thanks for watching my channel. And if you have any questions, comments, by all means, if you're live, great. If you're not live and you happen to catch this as a replay, anything you want to know about cruising, just type a question in the comments, because once this video is over, we paste it or post it on my, it goes onto my YouTube page, and then you can enter a comment there and ask me anything you want about cruising. I'll do what I can to give you an answer. So that'll be pretty cool. I did get a comment today from a viewer. I'm not sure if it's a subscriber or not, but it was a viewer. And I tell you, I really wanted to answer this for her right away. She was asking me, was telling me that she and her family were booked on the MSC Seaside in March. So that's about, I think, 6 weeks from now before they're boarding the ship for their 1-week Caribbean cruise. And she was hearing stories, which we've been talking about here the last, week now? 2 weeks. Stories about the MSC Seaside. Not good stories, disappointing stories. The big one has been this issue with regard to sewage. The sewage smell in certain parts of the ship are overpowering, and people are really complaining about it. I've seen video on YouTube. I know some of you viewers have been telling me as well. You've watched it too. We've seen videos of people who have sewage backing up in their shower stalls in their rooms, and there's so much coming out. Sometimes it spills onto the floor of the bathroom, and of course they call the room steward right away. They call the maintenance people right away. They come up there and they do what they can to clean it up, of course. But the smell is the problem. The cleaning up of the mess is one issue, but that can be done with chemicals, and everybody gets out of the room and goes away for a while, and by the time you come back an hour later, room's all cleaned up, it's fine. But the lingering odor is the problem, and it's being spread and it is spreading among decks, and it's even spreading into the atrium. One of my YouTubers, or one of the YouTubers I was watching, was mentioning it is now permeating into the atrium area from time to time. This is terrible. Well, the viewer who wrote me was asking, gee, you think by then they'll be done? By the way, my husband called the customer service people at MSC, and they said that the issue has been resolved, and that what the problem was the air conditioning system. They're having ventilation problems. Well, I'd use that excuse too if I were MSC. I would use that as the excuse. But the reality is, yes, the air conditioning system has a vent problem. Yeah, well, you know what the problem is? It's venting the smell of sewage around the ship. That's the problem. There's no sewage smell inside air conditioning systems. Air conditioning systems and toilets are two distinct things. Plumbing for your sewage, and the HVAC systems for air conditioning system do not mingle. But the odor of poop will come into ducts that then recirculate that air all over the ship. And this is the problem in the atrium and in some of the hallways, where the odor was concentrated in people's bathrooms, and now they can't get away from it. People are walking down the hallway to their room, and they already smell it. From 20 doors away, they smell the sewage. And when they get to their place, it isn't coming from their place. It's coming from somewhere around their place, their cabin, and it's awful. And so MSC has got themselves a little problem here, and I'm sure that between every cruise right now, there are technicians arriving from the factory that built that ship, who are flying in there from wherever the ship was christened at to investigate the issue. And who wants this to be a lingering issue? The ship looks gorgeous, it looks beautiful, and we're hoping that this gets resolved very, very quickly. I have some more thoughts on the MSC, but just give me a second here. Who else is here? Oh, Elizabeth is here. I made it. Elizabeth saying, "Hi, how you doing, Elizabeth? You're here. You're here early. This is fantastic." We're just talking about a couple things. Number one thing I'm bringing up is the MSC Seaside. We did a chat here. I think it was 3 days ago, where we talked a lot about the MSC Seaside, and I titled that live stream "MSC Seaside with the Order." And that video is just skyrocketing. I mean, is this up? This is up. I mean, it's over 600 views in not even 2 days. I mean, that for me is big. That's a big growth for the channel. I think it's going to continue to grow, because the MSC Seaside videos out there are confirming what we're talking about. We're just really repeating what we're hearing, and we're hearing much, much more. I'm hearing more problems with the MSC Seaside. Now, here's some other issues. Not as bad as the sewage, though. Oh, gosh. Food on board. Problem with the food on board. More than one. I'm hearing this from multiple sources are talking about the quality of the food. It's safe to eat. There's nothing wrong with it from a health perspective. It's fine. But apparently, not to the taste and liking of North Americans in general. Bland, not spicy enough, not whatever enough. There's just complaints about the food, and it's not just the buffet. You'd think normally, you figure the culprit would be the buffet, because chicken fingers and fries. No, it's not. That's not the problem. The problem is the food being offered and the choices being offered are underwhelming the tourists, underwhelming the passengers. And the MSC is competing against Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Holland America, Norwegian, Celebrity, all the cruise lines that we're used to. They know what we want. They know what we like. They know the way we like it. And MSC is bringing the menu over from the Mediterranean. They're bringing the menu over from the Baltics. And they're trying to sort of Europeanize the Caribbean cruise they're offering. I'm only talking about the Seaside. I'm not talking about MSC as a whole. If you go to the Mediterranean and cruise the MSC Seaside there, you will be delighted with dishes from the local area, like Italy, from France, Spain. You'll be given that kind of fare. But apparently, the food being offered in a number of instances, apparently, on board the MSC Seaside in the Caribbean, food not so good, not wowing people. And then I heard the other ship that MSC has had in the Caribbean is called the Divina. And there were complaints about it last year. Bland food. The food is just not inspiring, not exciting. People not happy. And if you don't have good food or the kind of food that your passengers want, and you're after North Americans, you got to give us what we want. If you don't, we talk, and we talk bad, and we talk a lot because, we're kind of loud. Anyway, so I'm hearing that kind of talk. Then I heard something else. I heard talk about the entertainment. They're not happy. People are not happy, a number of them, and it's not just 10 or 15. It's a segment of the passengers are not all that thrilled with the fact that in the main showroom, it's opera every night. Opera. What the heck's going on? Where's the magician? where's the doo-wop group? I don't know. I mean, whatever turns you on for entertainment, but nothing Broadway, nothing, nothing Jersey Boys, no Cats, no jugglers, no variety. It's opera. Too much opera. And again, it's this European slant that is turning off the Europeans, the North American travelers. They're saying, hey, one night, yeah, it'd be great. Oh, yeah, I've never been to an opera in my lifetime, or I haven't been to one for 20 years. Love to see something in an opera. But once, I got a 7-day cruise here, and I'd like to see some other stuff going on. So there's those issues that are popping up, and it's hitting the internet. It's showing up. And then I heard another one, and this one bothered me quite a bit. I was saddened to hear this. By the way, if you're just joining us, it's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. I'm live streaming. If you've never been here before, welcome to the live stream. We're talking cruise ships, we're talking about ships, cruise lines, deals, you name it. If you want, type in where are you watching me from? What's your high temperature today? Say, and the gang will say hi to you because all my regulars are lining up and they're all here, and I'm just saying hello. Now, the last point I'm going to make about the MSC Seaside. Again, I was watching a YouTube video today, and I saw this comment. I couldn't believe it. The story goes that family arrives for the cruise, and they arrive nice and early. They get there like at 10:30 in the morning, 11 in the morning. Want to be nice and on time, and they check their luggage in. Fine, it's all good. And then they go into the terminal where you're going to get registered in. They said that was slow. They said they weren't very impressed with the service there, and but they got through it, and they then went through the security check and then into the waiting area. And this is where the problem came, the big problem. They got into the waiting area, and they noticed that all around the waiting area there were like 200 people there, and they were waiting for. They were given a number or something like that. I'm not sure what they were given. A token. I know in some cruise ships when we board a cruise ship, we're given maybe a tag that's like an orange tag or a pink tag or a green tag, and they call the color. All the green tags come onto the front, and then you get on the ship. Well, they had a number, so whatever the number was, and they're sitting there, and number 7 is called, and 10 people get up and they're gone, and then another 5, 10, 20 people arrive, and 5 minutes later, number 17, and they're still their number hasn't been called, and they noticed that as the minutes went by, and the numbers got called, that people who were coming in behind them, well behind them, not 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they were sitting down for 5 minutes, and then a number got called, and they went on the ship. And here they are with the wife, the husband, wife, and 2 children. They've been there for an hour, and they're not getting called. Not getting called. He found out. He went to inquire, like, what's going on? The ship is boarding people according to the class of room you have, and they're lower on the list. Didn't matter that they got there first. They had to wait, and this is ridiculous. You got to wait until what, another 100 people of your classification show up before you get called? I don't know what the deal is there. This bothered me, because to me, you get into that departure lounge. The trick here, as far as I'm concerned, if you got 4,000 people coming on board in a 4-hour window, 5-hour window, get them in there and then keep them moving and get them on that ship. Because the sooner you get these people on board, the sooner they spend money on board. They book their specialty restaurants. They book their spa treatments. They do whatever they're going to do. And they're happy, and they're excited, and they're jazzed up about going on board. These folks are in the departure lounge getting PO'd. They're getting angry. They're getting upset. And as George Costanza used to say, George don't like getting upset, but he's getting upset. This is not good. So I was really surprised that they were using this kind of a method to board passengers when these folks here, I think they waited 90 minutes to get on the ship. He complained, and then eventually a number got called that they were able to get on. But that bothered me a lot. I was surprised at this one. I'd not heard that. Now, I would welcome any of you out there, if you've had any experience with MSC on anything like this, let us know. I'd be kind of curious to know what you've heard. Is this new, or has this been going on a while? I'm quite curious about that. So anyway, let me know on what you hear. That's MSC talk today. I'm sorry that I just can't give good news about MSC Seaside. I just wish I could, but there's nothing positive to be talking about with regard to the MSC Seaside so far, and it's just one thing after another. And I'm hoping for this reviewer that wrote me. I'm hoping for her that in 6 weeks things have settled down. They got it figured out. I have heard other rumors about the staff isn't all that prepared. They're not all that attentive. They're not all that caring. They're not all that motivated to look after your concerns. I've heard that talk too, and I can attribute some of that to they're new, or they've been transferred from European cruise line, the European division into the North American division, and they're not maybe the cultural thing. I don't know, folks. This would be interesting to get some info from any of you out there who have an experience in that or not. Other news. Today I read that Dominica, which got hit badly by the hurricanes back in September, the island of Dominica, for the first time, has welcomed its first cruise ship back into the island since September, October. That is a long time. That's 3-4 months. No cruise ships, right in the heart of winter season. They're finally receiving cruise ships again, because they had to spend $3 million on rebuilding and repairing the pier that the ships dock at, and they had a massive volunteer campaign from the citizenry to come out to the beach areas and clean it up. And then they had folks with snorkel and dive gear into the water, the first 10, 20 feet of water, retrieving debris from the bottom of the the shoreline. And you found everything. I'm sure they found lawn chairs and who knows what that was blown in there, because that island got hit bad. But the island is rejoicing, and they're so happy that they're able to bring tourists back, and now cruise ships are rescheduling ports of call back to Dominica. So it's nice to see Dominica coming back. St. Thomas has already been receiving passengers now for about a month. Saint Martin, about a month. And other islands as well. I'm not sure about St. Croix. I'm not sure if St. Croix has been able to get back up and running or not. St. Bart's, I'm not sure. That's where Richard Branson has his winter home there. And a lot of high-end tourists spend time in St. Bart's. It got hit bad too, and the rebuild continues. This is a 1-year rebuild at least for most of the island. It's just going to take quite some time. Anyway, so we'll have to see what's going on. Chris Reese is saying here, comment about the MSC. Heard food was bland, European, and entertainment was opera mainly. Yeah, this is what I'm hearing this too. And that food thing, this is not the first time I've heard about the food thing. It's been 2 weeks that I've been hearing about the food problem. Yeah, this could be bad, because as I think we know, we love to eat when we go on a cruise. Our waistline sort of shows it. And that's why they have exercise bikes and treadmills on cruise ships now, because those of us who graze for a living, we got to find a way to offload that, or at least keep it at bay. But boy, if the food is no good, or if the food is disappointing to you, and you leave that ship with the impression that you didn't get your money's worth, this isn't good. How many friends are you going to tell to take that cruise? Nobody. How many people are you going to tell not to take the cruise? Lots. This can cost that cruise line millions, tens of millions in lost revenues. It is if they don't get it, they've got a problem, because this is a major PR issue they're going to have to deal with. They're going to have to get a turnaround specialist in there, start stealing staff from some of these North American cruise lines, and get them in there, or work with a new executive chef or something, because food is everything. I mean, bad weather is one thing. Mother Nature can, deal a bad blow. It can rain. Stuff like that can happen. But food, the cruise line can absolutely directly affect the quality of the food on board that ship. And if this is an issue, I hope they're paying attention to it. So anyway, we'll see. One complaint, yeah, dozens, hundreds, from. Okay, that was the second piece of news with regard to Dominica. $3 million spent on the port in Rousseau, Dominica, and they're back. So that's great to see. Number 3, I'm going to talk about another question I had from a subscriber, viewer. They had just announced, they just mentioned to me that they've just moved to Florida. And I think they moved there to retire, husband and wife. And the strategy was pretty simple. We've moved to Florida because we're going to be nice and close to those ports where all the cruise ships come and go from. And we want to take advantage of cruises, being Floridians, year-round Floridians. And we're really thinking about grabbing a cruise from now and then. And we're quite interested in finding out about last-minute cruising options and how to take advantage of getting last-minute cruise deals. Because as we know, folks, cruise ship gets up to that 80% range and of occupancy, and things kind of look pretty good. But then with a month to go or 3 months to go, the number is still 82%. You've got 18% vacancy. That's a nightmare now for a cruise ship, because cruise ships love to leave port at 99% to 100% filled out, because every empty cabin is a cabin not making you money. And yet you've got a steward right there who's willing to make the bed every day, and there's people downstairs willing to wash those towels and the linens, and the restaurant's got enough food for everybody. If only the last 200, if only the last 500 people could have been brought on board. So the cruise lines get creative. And I would recommend, and some of you might want to tell me some tips and tricks, but I think some of the tips and tricks about this is, number one, you want to shop the internet for the best cruise deals. And so I like to use vacationstogo.com. They have a link, a little button on their main page where they'll tell you 90 last-minute specials for 90 days or less. And anytime a cruise reaches that 90-day zone or less, it shows up in that search criteria. All you got to do is hit the button, and it shows you every cruise around the world that is leaving in 90 days or less, last-minute cruises. And you get to see and follow these cruises on this page without having to enter the name of a ship or a cruise line or how long the cruise is or where it is. You're going to see everything. Now, you live in Florida, you're going to want to look at cruises leaving from Florida ports. But if you live in Florida and Miami International Airport's just over there, and there's a cruise leaving let's say leaving New York going to Barcelona, and it's a kick-ass deal, kick poop deal. Well, you'll want to grab that deal. So you're going to take Southwest Airlines into New York, cheap, and grab that boat and go. So sometimes a last-minute cruise might be in your neighborhood. Sometimes it's not in your neighborhood. It all depends. But it's up to you to decide which way you want to go. So vacationstogo.com is great for finding these last-minute deals. And every day you come back in, some more cruises have shown up. Why? Because the calendar is moving every day, and cruises that were 91 days away are now 90 days away. They're in that list. Now, of course, you can always say, I only want to see Florida cruises. I only want to see cruises between now and, say, 3 months from now, 4 months from now. You can use Vacations to Go to do, to itemize your and compartmentalize your search that way. But other online cruise sites exist to help you find deals. I think cruisecritic.com has a link. I think there's a link through Expedia, through Orbit. Any of you folks have some ideas, let me know. I met a gentleman, I told a story a while ago, I met a gentleman on a cruise, on a Princess cruise out of Los Angeles. He told me he got an email with like 10 days to go that the Princess cruise that's leaving for Mexico in a week and a half, we've got last minute deals, balcony deals, like $199 for the week. Well, he just jumped on that in a microsecond. He and his wife were on that cruise 10 days later. What a deal. But they were in LA, and I think somehow they had registered or were somehow detected to have been registered into Princess Cruise Line. You may want to talk to your local travel agent and talk to them about last minute cruising. I would recommend you definitely want to talk to a travel agent and say, look, my husband and I would be willing to drop everything if you give us 2 weeks or less notice. Like, even if you give us like a week or more of notice for a last minute cruise, we'll drop everything to go on a cruise if the price is right. So just notify us of any cruise that's like 7 to 20 days to go that you've come across. We're likely interested. Well, your travel agents will be on you all the time. You'll get emails probably every day, alerts every day, text messages, and you'll be notified of that. So that's another way to kind of take advantage of these last minute deals. Wes Morrison was saying this is back up talking about the hurricane problem. On my January cruise, our Tortola, British Virgin Islands, was substituted for St. Croix, and St. Croix was not really ready. Yeah, because Tortola was worse. And the ship, the cruise line, was trying to figure, where can we take passengers to drop them off for the day? And St. Croix was a choice, but yeah, it's not as nice as it would have been before the hurricanes, for sure, Wes. You're absolutely right. They got hit hard. Terrence is saying, we're going on our third MSC Divina cruise in 3 weeks' time. The shows on the ship are the best we've ever seen on cruise ships. They're not just opera, far from it. Great to hear. The Divina, it's working out. What's up with the Seaside? I'm wondering what's going on there. But variety, I'm not sure. Mark, the Lost Traveler, is here. Hello, everybody. How you doing, Mark? We're talking right now, Mark, about last-minute cruises. How do you find a deal on a last-minute cruise? What's the best way to be notified of a last-minute cruise? And I just left off by talking about travel agents. They can be your best friend. Now, travel agents get paid a commission by the cruise line to sell a cruise, of course, or a flight, or a hotel, or a car rental. That's their job. That's how they get paid, of course. But you talk to travel agents, and if they know that you're serious about taking a cruise, even if it's like 2 weeks' notice, they call you up and say, hey, Barry, how would you like to be on a celebrity cruise for $299 for 7 days on the Equinox in the Caribbean? And I can get you $50 credit on top of that. Would you be interested in that? Well, if you say yes to that deal, that travel agent will be on you forever every time a deal like this comes up, any kind of deal. And if you say to that travel agent, hey, I'm open to anything. I'm interested in Caribbean cruises. I'm interested in repositioning cruises. I'm interested in last minute, whatever cruises. If the price is right for the cruise and you can help me find an airfare deal to get to the ship if it's a bit of a wait, I'm open to suggestions because I want to travel the world. I want to see what's going on. So work with your travel agent. Your travel agent will work with you. So that can be a very, interesting symbiotic relationship. Might work very well. Anyway, that's an answer to a question from a viewer of mine who was curious about this. Like I say, I would be trying to find out through Norwegian, through Royal Caribbean, and through Carnival whether you can register on their websites for any last-minute notifications. I know that some of the travel sites, it might be Expedia, it might be Travelocity. Some of these might even offer you the opportunity to register with them for last-minute notifications. They'll offer you last-minute airfare deals, last-minute all-inclusive hotel package deals, in Dominican Republic or Mexico. There's all kinds of last-minute stuff that can kind of pop up. And if you're the kind of traveler that's willing to drop it all and go, you'll be throwing more deals than you can imagine, because every cruise has a last minute to it. And there are times the cruise is sold out weeks before the cruise happens, but then there are issues where a cruise line didn't sell out. You only got to 85, 90%, and there's 10% of those rooms are still available. You never know. You might be the person to get that deal, and you can run from there. Elizabeth is saying, I use my travel agent or Groupon. Well, there's Groupon. There's an idea, right? Groupon will you register with those guys, they may throw you a cruise that just blows you away. It might be one of these clear out deals. We got 100 suites. They got to go, and they got to go now. We want them out of here in 24 hours. First 100 folks to show up on this deal, we're taking 200 passengers into 100 suites. Let's go. Yeah, if you're open to that, that could be a really good deal. Mark, the Lost Traveler, is just commenting, that has happened to me on a 14-day cruise through the Panama Canal a few years ago. I think I paid $4.99. See what I mean? Yeah, if you're open to this kind of adventure, and it's an adventure. I mean, you can say to your better half, we could be going on a holiday at any time, and I don't know where it is. Are you okay with that? I think it's exciting. Some people, though, are so focused and structured that there's no way, unless I got 6 months notice, there's no way I'm going to do it. And of course, if you're working full time, you may have restrictions on your holidays and what have you, and you can't do it. But if you're kind of retired, semi-retired, maybe this is a way to go. It's something to keep in mind because it's out there. Chevy in First is here. Hi, everybody, she said. From Georgia, I believe. Everyone, 42 here today, 42 degrees. I have a newbie question. Am I allowed to take one of my cans of Cokes to the MDR for my dinner, the main dining room for my dinner? I plan on spreading my my 12 pack. I don't want to buy the bubbles package. Okay. All right. It depends. Okay. I'm going to give you that answer. In the main dining room is sort of it's quasi formal but not. Nowadays you can go in a golf shirt like this and long pants for guys, and shoes. Where in the past, when you see these movies, like you see the Love Boat shows and you see movies about ocean liners, men were almost in tuxedos just to have dinner, or suits and ties. That has really been relaxed. Formal nights nowadays, you might have to wear a jacket over top of your golf shirt. So it's really come down in restrictions. But the main dining room, theoretically, you could walk into that room, say, with a sport cup, and in there you could have your colas in there poured already. They probably won't say anything. I've done it a couple of times, but generally I don't do that. If I'm going to the main dining room, I personally feel that it deserves a little higher treatment, and so I want a Diet Coke. I'll order one, and I'll pay the price. But you know what? It's a 7-night cruise. I might do the buffet twice. I might do an Italian restaurant, and I might do something, and then maybe the main dining room twice or 3 times. If I'm buying 2 or 3 colas on the ship, and they're costing me $2.50 a pop each one, with tip and all, I'll pay it. It's okay. It's my little contribution, but you're not getting me to buy 35 of these things on a 7-day cruise. Now, I bought 2 or 3 dozen with me. That's how many I brought on board, and so I've got my 36 cans. I know I'm saving at least $2 a can minimum per cola that I brought on board, $72. And if I paid $80 a night for that room, that's practically one night just on my cola. But yes, I will buy a few over here. Now, if I'm going to the buffet, I'm taking my sport cup. I'll definitely take my sport cup with my cola in it. They don't care because it's the buffet. You're just, showing up and you're carrying your sport cup on your little pinky finger here, and you got your tray here. No one will say a word. It's all good. It's all good. And of course, if you're outside at the pizza stand or you're having a hot dog or whatever, knock yourself out. So you're okay there. Chris Reese is saying, can we bring pop on the ship? Yes, you can. Chris, you can bring cola. Some of the cruise lines will allow you to, and they actually ask you to, bring it on your carry-on. You just have to go, when you're booking your cruise or you're talking to your travel agent, just ask them what the policy is of the ship. Some of the cruise lines would prefer that you bring your wine on board. You can bring a bottle of wine per adult for a cruise. Sometimes they'll allow 2. They also ask that you bring them on your carry-on. I find that I just stuff my cola. I literally have the case, the 12-pack from the grocery store or from wherever, Walmart, and I just put the whole 12-pack in my big suitcase. And I've got my clothing all around it, and I take a bottle of wine, and I shove the bottle inside a pair of pants, or I put socks over the thing, and I have a bottle of wine in the suitcase with my 12-pack, clothing all over it, shut it in, and that's protected now by 6 inches of clothing on the top, 6 inches of clothing on the bottom, and clothing all around, and they make it on board quite fine. I have not yet had an issue where I've ever had anyone have talked to me, or it's been confiscated, or anything like that. Never had an issue of doing that before. So, like I said, bring your cola on board, your Red Bull drinks, your energy drinks, whatever you like to have. Bring that with you. Put it in your suitcase, and bring it along. They'll be fine. Mark Lost Traveler, subject change. Has anyone ever used a Wi-Fi hotspot hub like the Skyroam Solus? Personally, no. Be curious about that. Elizabeth is saying, I use Sharon at Sea She has. It says YouTube channel, but she's fantastic. We have 3 booked now. Okay, I'm lost on Elizabeth's comment. Sorry, I thought it had to do with the hotspot. Is that about the hotspot, or is that about something else? Um, I'm not sure what's happening there. But on the hotspot, Mark, no, I haven't. I don't know what the deal is regarding the Wi-Fi on a cruise ship. What I've been used to in the past was, of course, you had to go to the computer room, that they set up where they had the desktops, and you could rent. You could sit at a computer and just pay by the minute. You buy your internet package when you get there, and you could pay by the minute if you want. Or you can buy a 1 hour package or a 240-minute package, and you can reload it if you want more time. But cruise ships now are offering Wi-Fi on board the whole ship, or at least in your cabin or on the public decks. They have Wi-Fi areas where you can use your cell phone, or you can use your tablet or a laptop. Now, if you're using a hotspot hub, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to circumvent their restrictions or codes. On the other hand, if you've bought a package that gives you unlimited internet or unlimited Wi-Fi, or a limited amount of Wi-Fi that's shipboard wide, but you want a booster, if that's what you're talking about, then that might be a way to go. I'd be curious if anyone else has run across this. Personally, I haven't. And again, Elizabeth is I can't. I'm reading your comment, Elizabeth, but I'm not sure what you're talking about. Sharon, okay, I think I got it. You use Sharon at Sea. That's a YouTuber. You're using Sharon at Sea. I think she's fantastic. We have 3 booked now. I'm guessing, but I'm not 100% sure if that's what you're saying. Anyway, that's the deal on that. Just going to check back here on comments. Yeah, we're talking about getting last-minute cruises and finding deals like that. Change the subject all you want, folks. We'll go anywhere you want to go. I'm not married to it. I'm quite happy. Those of you who are watching this channel or watching the show who've never been here before, welcome to Traveling with Bruce. I'm Bruce. I'm located in Creston, British Columbia, Canada, 3 miles north of the U.S. border. And here it's 34 degrees today. It's as gray and cloudy as ever. I have a spotlight on me right up here, and that's why I've got such a shiny head, and you can see the shadows, all that. I get the spotlight shining on me because the outside light here, there is no outside light. It's so bland and so foggy. I have no assistance coming from Mother Nature today, so I have to do it artificially. And I don't have a professional lighting system because I'm a small YouTuber, and welcome to my channel. If you want to say hi to us, type in what town are you watching us from? What city, country, what's your high temperature going to be? Say hello. The gang will say hi back to you. We are talking cruise ships. We're talking about cruise ship holidays. It's an open Q&A. You can talk about anything you want. I got a few topics to talk about today, and we'll kind of go from there. Mark is saying here, some ships forgot which one it was offering free Wi-Fi. That's interesting. Then he's saying, when you have time, take a look at Skyroam on YouTube and tell me what you think. All right, I'll take a look at that. And then Wes is saying, Wes in Texas, he's saying Viking has free Wi-Fi. Not fast, but it serves its purpose. Yeah, Viking is a great line. I was just reading a great article about Viking the other day. Man, they've got it going on. Viking cruise lines or Viking ships. Most of us know Viking because of the river cruises in Europe. Those long cruise ships that are like 4 or 5 stories tall, and they hold about 140 to 180 passengers apiece, and it's all 5-star with short excursions, and they go up the Danube River and make frequent stops. Fantastic. Expensive as all get up, but nice. Viking in the last few years got into the ocean cruise business. They figured out our clientele are so well off with income. They would love to have this kind of service on a cruise ship, and we won't have water slides. We won't have a casino. We won't have rock climbing walls. Nah, we'll just do everything 5-star in a more sedate, calm way, in a higher class version, and we'll build ocean liners just for our kind of clientele. Average age 65, higher demographic, 930 passengers maximum per ship, 650 crew, high crew ratio, all balcony units, no inside rooms, and then owner suites. And no specialty restaurants. There are specialty restaurants. You don't pay extra for them. It's all included in your deal. The dining room is top-notch. The specialty restaurants are top-notch. Beautiful spa with all kinds of treatments available, workout room, couple of pools, jacuzzis, all the amenities that you would want. but free Wi-Fi on board the entire vessel. And I believe tipping is, in some cases, is included, some cases isn't, depending on the room quality you have, the balcony size, and so on. And your mini fridge is stocked with alcohol and pop, and you've got snacks, all included. And if you're there for dinner, lunch and dinner, wine and drinks are included as well. Very all-inclusive kind of deal. It's more, of course, it's not, you can't compare the price to go on a Viking cruise to, say, Royal Caribbean or Celebrity. No, it's much more, but you get much more. And you also get less of the other stuff. The minimum age, 18 and older. No one under 18 allowed on the ship. No kids. And so this is for a select group of cruisers that want to get away from it all, but still be on a rather large ship. But you're not on a mega monster 5,000 type ship with lineups everywhere and activities everywhere, mayhem everywhere. No, it's a much quieter form of travel. Anyway, I've heard very good things about Viking. Nothing but good things. What do we got here? Comments are coming in. Teresa, hi Bruce, minus 19 in Waterloo, Ontario. Oh, Teresa, you're dying out there. We're +1 Celsius here. That's cold out there. Welcome to the chat. Mark, Orlando, 68. Mark just rubbing it in. I love it. Mad airline passengers today, 100 delayed flight. Oh, Mark, I think you're working with American Airlines, if I recall. So you had some PO'd passengers today. That couldn't have been fun. Teresa's saying, do you need a roommate, Mark? Laugh out loud. Teresa's saying, I like your weather a lot better than mine. Mark is saying, still by myself on the getaway. He's taking a cruise on the Norwegian getaway, and he's alone. So, hey, ladies. Dylan is here. Dylan from Henderson, Nevada. How you doing, buddy? Hey, beautiful 76 degrees Fahrenheit in Henderson, Nevada. How you doing? Yeah, I know you're getting ready for your cruise. It's coming pretty soon. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, there's things happening all over the place with the cruise game. Any questions you have, anything you want to talk about, you let me know. Now, I wanted to mention something today. It's called Top Secret Codes. I read an article a few days ago, and I loved it. And I also was talking to a friend of mine, a good buddy of mine. His son was a performer on a cruise ship. He was one of the dancers. And he was on a cruise ship for quite a while. He met his wife-to-be, fellow dancer, on a cruise, and they got together, and they're now together. They're married. They're no longer on the cruise ship anymore, but they're now living happily ever after, and they've got stories. And I got a couple of pieces of information about, the world down under, underneath the decks that we can't go to, those decks, the lower decks. What happens down there? What's going on down there? What's it like down there, other than the hard work that these people are doing? What's life like on a daily basis? And also, what are some of these codes, and what do they mean? And the article I read had to do with the Harmony of the Seas, the Royal Caribbean cruise ship, which is at the moment the largest cruise ship at sea, soon to be passed by Symphony of the Seas, which is coming out in a few months from Royal Caribbean. But I read about some of these code words. I thought they were pretty interesting, and I thought I'd pass them on. Some of you folks might know this, some of you might not. There's a code called a 30-30. A 30-30 is when a crew member is asking maintenance, we got a mess here. Somebody went, or somebody dropped their beer, or dropped a plate full of guacamole, and we got us a problem. It's a 30-30. We need something done quick. Then we have something known as a PVI. That's known as a public vomiting incident. Public vomiting incident, PVI for short. So if you ever hear anyone, oh, we got a PVI on deck 6, avoid deck 6. Something bad happened there. Another one is called Alpha. That's a medical emergency. So if you hear someone on the radio going, we have a situation, Alpha, room 2202, that's a medical emergency. Bravo, that's fire. That's a biggie. When Bravo is called out, you will be watching crew going everywhere and quickly because they're going to their stations. Kilo, all personnel report to emergency posts. Has everything to do with a Bravo situation, and you hope you never have one of those on a cruise ship. Believe me, the staff doesn't want one either. Echo, the ship is starting to drift, and I wonder under circumstances, what does that mean? Does that mean high winds causing a ship to drift off course? Is it at port when sometimes a line, a restraining line will snap and the ship starts to move off the pier? We've seen videos on YouTube on that. I wonder if that's known as an echo. I don't know. Oscar, that is person overboard. We got an Oscar. That's not good. Then there's the OPP. That's the Outbreak Prevention Plan. And that's in force all the time. And that's that norovirus we keep talking about that they're battling nonstop. OPP. On the Harmony of the Seas, if they have an OPP stage 1, everything's normal. No issues, no problems. People are getting their hands under the sanitizers when they're going into the buffet or when they're coming on or going off the ship. They're getting their hands done. Everything is normal, all well. If it goes up to an OPP stage 2, then we got us an issue, because it's likely we ended up getting what's called a 6 in 6. And a 6 in 6 means 6 people got ill within 6 hours. And that's when the alarms are going off, big time. All the medical personnel, food handlers, every crew member, they are being notified. We just got a 6 in 6, and we're now at an OPP stage 2. And at an OPP stage 3, it's really serious. It's so serious now that the outbreak is really hitting. Passengers are not allowed to handle their own food. You go to the buffet, you can't spoon your own food on your plate. A staff member will do it for you. The dancers are brought in. The performers are all brought in. The singers, the magicians, all standby crew that are not doing other jobs, like your room steward who's finished looking after your room. He's in the buffet. He's in all areas of the ship. They're handling the food for you. You can't touch the food. They got your plate, and they're putting the food on it for you, and they're carrying your tray to your table. It's serious. Now it's restrictive, and they're not too subtle when it comes to you're coming into the buffet. You're washing your hands in that sanitizer. They're watching you. You're not getting in here without getting those hands clean, because if you're getting lazy about it, look out. Quite interesting how this escalates quickly. Also, on an OPP stage 3, it's so serious now that all used linens from the restaurants, all used bedding, that means all your linens and bedding and your towels, when the time to clean the room, your room steward comes in, he has red bags, special biohazard bags. All bedding goes into these red hazard bags along with the towels and from the restaurants, and they're sealed up and they're stored in a certain area of the ship, not to be opened until they return back to the home port. They won't even launder that product, all that material on board the ship now. It'll be stored until it's back on shore, and they'll handle it there. Serious stuff. They really clamp down when this starts to happen. And of course, you know what happens, folks. We hear all about it in the media. 200 people got sick on the so-and-so. 300 people got sick on this ship over here. That's what's going on with the norovirus. Interesting news I also read about the norovirus. The cruises that are most susceptible to the virus are the short ones, 2 to 5 day cruises. You have more incidence of norovirus on short cruises than longer term cruises. Cruises of 14 days, not an issue, not usually an issue, but 2 to 5 days, it really shows. And the reasoning is, I found this quite something. The reasoning is that if you're buying a 2-day, 3-day cruise, it might be a booze cruise. Well, how many dollars can the cruise ship charge you for a 3-day cruise? They're not going to charge you $500 a night for a 3-day cruise. A 3-day cruise is $179.99, $199.99. You're attracting a crowd that are bargain hunters, all right? And they're looking for a good time, and a good time now, because they only got 3 days to have a good time. And if they bought a drink package, they're getting, they're doing it. They're getting liquored up. Their immune systems are weakened by how much booze they're drinking. And that makes them more susceptible to all kinds of issues. They're not as attentive to their hygiene because they're drinking so much on board. We know that. The other issue is 2, 3, 4 day cruises are perfect, quick getaway, cheap cruises for elderly passengers, those on a budget. And if you're looking at a $2.99 special for you and your wife, and you're in your 70s and 80s, your hygiene habits may be not as attentive as they used to be. And this is also a cause of the spread of the norovirus. And it's incredible. The statistics come out that the higher the number of seniors on the cruise, the higher the odds of getting the norovirus spread on a cruise ship. It's a stat that just doesn't go away. And this is why of course, senior old folks, senior citizen centers, where grandma and grandpa end up, they are always battling the norovirus at senior centers, and the staffs, the nurses, are using those antibacterial wipes on all the handrails in the hallways, all the utensils in the restaurant, all the chair handles, the tables. Same thing on the cruise ship. The cruise passengers, the cruise crew know that if they're working 3-day cruises, they're dealing with the norovirus big time. They're the front lines, and they're all over the ship 24/7, cleaning it up and staying on top of the virus to try to kill any of the virus that appears anywhere. Quite interesting stats. So I found these codes to be rather interesting. Now, talking to my friend about life below board, life below deck, got some interesting info on that. Just going to double check anyone comment here. Dylan saying it's nice in Henderson. Mark Lost Traveler saying drift means we're out of power. Yeah, that's another one, that the shift is at drift. Very good. And then drift. Then he's saying when we have a dead body, we call it Jim Wilson. American Airlines is calling it a Jim Wilson. Oh no, you don't want to be Jim. No way, I don't want to be Jim. It's also true, by the way, cruise ships have morgues. Did you know that? Cruise ships, the larger ones, they have a storage area downstairs to hold deceased passengers. They're in a body bag. They're in the morgue. They're in a refrigerated unit, and 3 to 5 can be held at a time. And there have been incidents on larger cruise ships over the years where more than 5 passengers have expired on the cruise. Natural causes. They didn't wake up in the morning, and they had to be dealt with. And generally speaking, cruise lines attempt to hold the deceased until they return back to the home port. And then they exit the deceased on the opposite side of the ship from where we get off. They bring a tender around and discreetly disembark these passengers on tenders to a waiting vehicle that takes them to the funeral home. However, there are times where the body has to be dropped off at the next port of call, and that is a paperwork nightmare because it's a different country. And if the passenger got on the ship for the first time in the United States and they're getting off the ship in, Dominica, paperwork nightmare. If it's Europe, another paperwork nightmare. So the ships try to, repatriate the deceased back to where they came from, to their home country, because it's likely that's where they're going to be, that's where the funeral is going to be held, back home, right? Anyway, there have been other stories where, like I said, more than 1 and more than 5. And then there are the stories of the husband and wife got on the cruise. The husband died on day 3 of the cruise, and the wife stayed on the cruise and partied the rest of the cruise because he was rather ill and he wasn't feeling well anyway. And we were kind of hoping he'd make it, but we knew his time was up anyway. And so, Sam's gone. What am I going to do? We've already paid for the cruise, and I got this bar card. I got this drink card. I might as well enjoy myself. There's all kinds of stories. They run the gamut. They run the gamut where the wife says, we're getting off the next port, and I'm flying that body back. I'm not waiting to go back. I'm not taking on this cruise anymore. There's also that. So amazing. Just amazing. But a Jim Wilson. Okay, we know what a Jim Wilson is on American. Oh, my God. Dylan Rue is saying, at my work, We call out quality check when someone steals food. There you go. When someone steals food. Yeah, there's just no end to these scenarios that go on. Mark was saying, was this the same guy who said, "Well, this cruise has already turned out just"? Oh yeah, some fine cruise this turned out to be. Not the same guy. As far as I know, on a cruise that I was on, where the two guests next to us in the suite next door were having a rather heated discussion 2 hours into the cruise. In effect, we were still in port for the departing city. We hadn't even left the pier yet. And the unpacking was just starting over there, as it was in our cabin. My wife and I heard a lot of noise coming from next door. And we opened our balcony door, and we really heard it coming around the corner. And it seemed that of the two, one party thought something was going to happen on this cruise that they were quite looking forward to, and the other individual on the cruise apparently had made it abundantly clear before we even got on this ship that none of that was going to happen on this ship. And I guess the room steward had to be called in to make that king bed or that queen bed back into two singles. And I know Mark commented on that particular video about did the guy end up getting a drink package for the week? Because might have needed one. I don't think he had anything to do with, I don't think either couple was deceased on that cruise. I believe they both walked off alive and well, or alive and as well as can be expected after that cruise ended. But neither seemed to be all that happy about it. But we didn't get to know them because we didn't know who they were, and we stayed out of it. But oh, did we hear about it, because he ended up on the balcony yelling, "Some fine damn cruise this turned out to be." Well, that was just the start of it. Oh my, what a deal. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how that went down. Oh, it's too much fun. Okay, now let's talk about. I want to mention some info about what happens below deck, the areas where we can't go. And I will not name this individual because I promised I wouldn't. But he was a dancer, and so he was one of the higher paid people on that ship as far as workers goes. Wasn't well paid like the captain or anything like that, but he was well paid. He loved his job. He loved his career on board. But what he said to me was quite revealing. He was in his, I believe he was in his mid to late 20s when he started, and he was in his early 30s when he finished. If I got my dates right, he might have been on board ships for 5 or 6 or 7 years. Met this gal. They hit it off pretty quick, and they got together. And when their contracts expired, they went forward when they kept dancing that they were together. They had to have the same contract on the same ship from that point up, and the cruise line accommodated them. The cruise line encouraged it, because the cruise line realizes if crew members get together like this, they stay longer. They are happier as workers, performers, whatever their jobs are, and less friction. It's a very good thing. Statistics show that crew members that meet each other on board and get together and marry tend to become what we call lifers. They end up staying on board cruise ships for many, many, many more years than singles. Those who are single when they join the company and don't find a significant other, they don't last as long. Where married couples do. Now, they might stay on board the cruise ship as a married couple for quite a number of years, but if a family is in order, then the husband stays working on the cruise ship, and the wife is having children back home, and the dad is sending money back. After 5 or 10 years of being on a cruise, whether you're a laundry worker, server in the restaurant, you're in the whatever department you're in. If you're below deck and we don't see you, those folks are moving up in seniority, and they'll start to supervise others. If after 2 or 3 years they don't move up, they're usually fired. And they're eliminated. The cruise ship companies keep the best workers because they have a million to choose from that want these jobs, and so they keep the best. Every contract, you're up for renewal or you're up for review, whether you get a new contract or not. That includes performers. And if you made the grade, you're offered a new contract. You get a month off, you're flown home. Get a month off, you're flown back. You got a new 11-month contract. and here we go. But after the second, third year, you're starting to move up. And they're training you to become a supervisor. And so you may be in charge of 20 of the laundry workers. You might be in charge of the whole laundry division that handles all the linens for the entire restaurants, this type of thing. So you're moving it up. And same with the room stewards and the folks who are vacuuming and the maintenance guys, all are moving up the chain. So if you see someone who's been on a cruise ship for 15 years, they're not at the lowest pay level anymore. They may still be in the laundry department, but they're running it and they're making much more money. And this is how they can afford to have one of the two go home, have the children, and dad can keep sending money home and comes home once a year for a month, and let's make another one. And let's go from there. So that's part of the life downstairs as well. Crew have access to their own bar, their own food. They have internet. They have got Skype. They can contact home and they can talk live. They're not so cut off anymore. 20 years ago, it was letters. A phone call was almost unheard of. And then internet finally came around. And it was like, you've got mail, AOL, but no pictures, no nothing. Now it's, smartphones and instant communication and text messaging and much more direct. It's fantastic. But then my friend told me another little story that I thought was cool. He says, depending on what part of the ship you're on, when you're down below, they have elevators down there, of course, and then they also have stairwells that go up and down. But there's about 4 or 5 decks that are way down there that we don't get to go to. And in those stairwells, you'll come across in one particular stairwell at one particular spot, you'll come across this guy sitting there from time to time. He'll see it could be Filipino, he could be from India. What he's done is he's taken a mirror and he's taped it to the wall of the stairwell. He's got a chair sitting in front of that mirror, facing the mirror, and he's got a pair of scissors, and he's got a comb, and he's got a belt on. He's got all of his. He's a barber. He's the on-ship barber. This is a side gig. The guy actually is working on the ship in whatever department he's working in, and on the side he cuts hair. And this is his spot, and no one else gets the spot. Even when he's working, no one else gets the spot because it's his turf, and they claim territory. So crew members, they love to go to Filippo or Andre or Charlie, whoever the guy's name is, because he knows how to cut my hair. I've been using this guy for 5 years. He's my best guy. I won't go to the other guy because on the other stairwells, there's another barber. And over on another stairwell, there's another barber. And they're there to cut hair. And I asked him, I said, well, do you find that any of the officers use these guys? I said, oh yeah, junior officers in particular, they use these guys all the time. Oh, for sure. They do a great job cutting hair. And I said, well, what does that run you? And he's $2-3, cash, $2-3 cash, takes care of it. I thought that's pretty cool. Because gotta get a haircut. Well, this is worth your while getting a trim every week or two. I mean, you don't have to wait a month to get your haircut. Get trimmed every week or two. The guy's right there. Perfect. And then I asked about some other entrepreneurs. Are there other entrepreneurs on the cruise down below? Are they making money on the side? He said, yes, there are. We had one gal. He said, I got to know her very well. Wonderful gal. My wife and I, we've known her for years. Acupuncturist, doing acupuncture. And she works upstairs in the spa. And we would utilize her services in the crew quarters. And she'd have her own kit. And when she's off duty, she'd come into our rooms and we'd get an acupuncture right in our room because he was dealing with shoulder issues because he had to lift the dancers up over his head. And so over time, as you get on into your 30s, you start to wear down in certain spots. She would do that for them. And that would be at a much lower cost than if you went to the spa itself. Others were doing massages. They were offering massage. And he was talking about how one crew member came back on a cruise after like the second, third year. Their new contract was starting. They came with a carry-on, and instead of a big suitcase, they had a massage table. And they had rigged the massage table in such a way that the inside of the massage table held all their clothing. It was their suitcase now. And when they were off duty, they would unfold the massage table in the crew quarter areas, right to your room or wherever, and they would offer massages. And you could get a massage at $20, $25 for a half an hour, whatever the deal is, at a cut rate price from the spa upstairs. Little things like that to help make the make the cruise even more profitable for the folks who are downstairs, helping all those other folks get through life. The other thing he told me that I thought was kind of neat was on Embarkation Day, the first day when you're coming on the cruise, you're taking a tour of the ship. You had a bite at the buffet. Now you want to look around. You end up in the spa. You get a tour, and they show you around where the exercise rooms are, and then they take you to where the massage rooms are. And then you'll come in, you see the acupuncture station over here, and there's a person lying on the bed there with all kinds of needles in their shoulder. Guess who that is? It's him. It's one of the dancers. He's getting his shoulder treated with acupuncture, no charge, because you're the guinea pig. You're the demo. It's demo day, and you're getting that done. And he was telling me that on other days, like the next week's beginning cruise, if he was on duty, he would be the demo for the haircut or a shave. He said, I love to get a shave because they put the cream on you there, and they put the towel over you, and they roll the seat back, and you're lying back, and he's doing the hand razor. Well, the guy who's doing the shaving is promoting the fact that we're offering this great service. Wouldn't you like to have a shave like this? Look how comfortable this guy is. And believe me, he's half asleep because he's laying back. He says normally the shave is 15, 20 minutes. I'm there for an hour and a half. I'm falling asleep lying there because he's shaving a little bit. Then he talks to the few passengers. He shaves a little bit. The next group come by. He's talking to them. 90 minutes later, he's got a shave. He says, but it's all nice. It's all nice. Little things like that are happening behind the scenes that we don't generally see or know about. I found it to be quite an interesting chat. He said also there's territory down there. There's turf, which I found also interesting because you've got certain ethnic groups here, certain ethnic hangouts here. You got the rec rooms, you've got the traditions, you've got the lifestyle and the food. They have their own chefs downstairs producing food from home for the 300, 700 folks from this country or the 500 from this country. They have their type of food, and of course they have the North American whatever food for everybody else. Quite interesting how that worked. Just reading that comment again from Mark. Yeah, so life below the promenade deck. It's a whole other world because these folks are there 24/7, 11 months straight on a rotating basis. Not everybody is done in 11 months and leaves, and a whole bunch of new people come in. It's every month one of those servers, one of those waiters, he and two busboys, their contract is up and they're gone home for a month. They've already been offered a new contract because they had their interviews, or they haven't been offered a new contract yet and they're hoping to get a new one. There's all this going on all the time, turnover. And new guys are coming in, new girls are coming in, and they're being trained, and then they're being put to the test, and you find out in the first year whether you can cut it or not. And the first contract might only be 5 or 6 months. For the dancers, the contracts were generally 6-month deals, like 5 months of work with a month off, and then you then do another 5-month contract and then a month off. But in between dancing assignments, you had to go to the head office, to the training center for that cruise line, and you would learn all your new dance routines, because the dances you performed for the last 5 months, those shows are over. We're changing up the shows. So when you're on a cruise ship, a year later you get back on that same ship for a cruise, different routine, different shows, different everything. And it might be it might be Broadway style, it might be Chicago style, it might be whatever style. And these dancers have to learn it all. They have to learn the hip hop and the waltzing and the ballroom dancing and it's endless, and it's work. It is serious work. You have 2 weeks of training in your new contract before you're assigned to your ship. You know the ship you're going to be on. You know where you're going to catch your ship at. You got the airplane ticket already, but you've got 2 weeks of on-land training with your choreographers to learn your routines, get your costumes all designed and cut, measured out, everything. And then you're heading for the cruise ship to join the cruise. And you're talking about a complement of 8 to 10 to 12 dancers per ship, per contract. And so, you slip and fall and twist your ankle. Hopefully we can bandage it up and you can still dance tomorrow. And if not, you're laid up for a while. We may have to bring someone in on an emergency basis, or we got to change the routine and only work with 9 dancers instead of 10. And hopefully number 10 can get back on in a few days and we're good to go. All kinds of stories about this sort of stuff. It just never ends. Other performers are only coming in for maybe a month at a time or a week or two at a time. Comedians are brought in, then they're replaced with another. It's a rotating kind of situation. It's a unique business, and it's an amazing choreographed thing. If you've got 20 ships in the fleet, you've got 12 dancers on each ship, and you've got contracts going all the time, and you've got additions going all the time. You have retirements going on all the time, turnover. People are fired for whatever. There's a lot of that going on. Oh, there's one other little term I found the other day. It was called chicken or beef. The term is called chicken or beef, and that means if you're a crew member and you've been caught fraternizing with a passenger, whether it was your idea or not, the passenger decided it would be a good idea for you to get together in a consensual way, and it got found out, you're off that ship at the next port of call. You're fired. You're gone. The crew member is gone. And the term chicken or beef is the term the stewardess asks you when you're on your flight back home. What would you like today, chicken or beef? You don't touch the passengers. Don't let them touch you if at all possible, apparently. Some of the crew members talk about how they get asked whether, can I have my picture taken with you? And, it's after 4 or 5 rum and cokes, and a couple of gals want to have a picture taken with the bartender or the server. And the server is that young guy who keeps bringing you those drinks, and he's got a beautiful tan because he's on that pool deck all the time, and he's not fat. He's in pretty good shape. And these gals want to get a picture taken with this guy. Well, they're kind of hoping that he puts their arm around him, and they're kind of hoping to put their arm around him. But what he does is he'll stand in the middle, and the gals will be on either side of him, one or both or whatever. And you'll normally find that cruise members, they'll have their pictures taken with their thumbs up like this. Thumbs up. I'm having a great time. Because they don't want to be accused of having put their hands behind the merchandise and sampling the merchandise from behind. You see what I'm saying? So you don't want to get caught doing that. So these guys, to keep their jobs, they're doing this, doing that. So photographic evidence exists. I didn't touch her. I didn't do anything. It was her. She had too many drinks and she touched me. And oh my God. So yeah. So you don't want to have that issue. I found that quite interesting, quite entertaining. Anyway, Doreen is saying, hi, Bruce, you're here. Doreen saying, wow, look at the subscribers, wonderful. Yeah, last I saw 509, and we're climbing, I think it's 509, something like that. Unbelievable. It's wonderful. We're really stoked. Okay, I think I'm going to kind of wrap it up here. I want to wish everybody a great weekend. It's Friday. I hope you had a good week. I hope you have a good weekend. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern, I'm doing it again. We're live tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern. Any of you out there who know someone that would enjoy this chat, tell them to join and come on by. We got questions and answers about cruising and finding deals and what it means and how cruises work and you name it. We'll talk cruising and traveling tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and then I'm taking Sunday off because there's a football game on Sunday, and I think I might watch that. And I don't go live on Sunday. I need to rest my voice. But Monday I'll do it again at 5 o'clock Eastern, Monday to Friday. And we're having fun. I'm really enjoying this. I really love it. I hope I'm not boring you folks. If there's any topics you want me to cover that I haven't covered, let me know either here or on my comment section on this video or any other. I read all my comments and I respond to them. At this point, I can do it because 500 and some odd subscribers, I can handle the comments coming in. 5,000 subscribers, I don't know if I'll be able to answer every comment fast enough to satisfy you, but I'll do the best I can. And I'm having a great time so far. I'm so grateful to all of you who've been watching and following me. I can't thank you enough for subscribing. If you know anyone that might be interested in becoming a subscriber, let them know. Please share my videos on Facebook, on Instagram, or Twitter, and put the word out there that Bruce needs to get to 1,000 subs by Feb 20, and he's on his way, but we got to get him over the top. I thank you so much. So in the meantime, I'm going to say my goodbyes for today, Friday, February the 2nd, and say thanks for watching today. This is Bruce with Traveling with Bruce saying we'll see you next time. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.